So the other function is digital read. So it works like other function that takes two parameter, right? So I'm going to write it down now, the digital read. So watch what I'm doing. You can see that the function has turned to orange color, just like others. Then put our bracket. So this this digital read does, it takes only one parameter. It takes only one parameter. What it does is just name the pin that you want it to read. So it takes only one parameter, not two. All that takes two parameter, the pin and the state you want the pin to be. But this digital read takes only one parameter, just the pin. And before we do that, since I'm using in the pin mode, I set pin 4 as an output. But because I want to read from that pin 4, what I will do to this pin is just to set it as an input, because I want to read from that pin. So pin can be set as input or output. So since I want to use a digital read function, I have to set that pin to input, to serve as input, so that it can be able to read whatever I want to read. If I set this pin 4 as an output and call this digital read function to read from that pin 4, it won't work, because the compiler is seeing that pin 4 as an output, it's not seeing it as an input. So for the compiler to see it as an input, I have to go to the pin mode function and set that pin 4 as an input before the digital read function can work. So what I will do now is go to this pin mode, set it as an input. So I have to set it as an input. So pin 4 is now set as an input. So if I go to this digital read function and I want to use it, all this I'm just trying to explain these functions. Then in our next video, when we start the practical, you will see how to use it to read any either to use it to read input or to give it as an output. So this digital read takes one parameter, which is the pin that you want to read from. So the pin that I want to read from is pin 4. Just put pin 4 there, then end it with a semicolon. That is all. So whenever I call this digital read, whenever I call it in whatever code that I'm writing, it will go to that pin 4 and take and read whatever we put in that pin 4. Either as a push button, just to read a digital input signal. That is the work of this digital read. So in our next video, we'll talk about the other function. We'll talk about analog write and analog read.